Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the 5 best WooCommerce payment gateways available. We're going to go ahead and compare them. We're going to run through them. We're going to talk features, functions, what to look for, how many payment gateways do you need. We're going to understand how to choose the best WooCommerce payment gateway, and then we're going to actually answer which one, as far as my opinion, is the best payment gateway. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with what is a WooCommerce payment gateway. So first and foremost, a WooCommerce payment gateway, or any gateway for that matter, is a payment partner or a payment platform that you can use to accept payments on your website. Whether, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be on your website, but obviously since we're talking about WooCommerce, that's a e-commerce website, platform. But a payment processor, payment gateway, payment partner, those are just interchangeable names, is a platform that enables you to take payments. So if you have a brick and mortar store, payment processor like Square, like Stripe, they actually allow you to take payments with cards. Like you can buy a card reader and you can actually pay with your card in the actual store. So just so you guys know, just some fun facts for you guys. There's about 900 payment gateways in the world. So there's 900 companies out there in the world that offer payment services to merchants and brands and businesses, with over 300 of those being in Europe and North America alone, which is pretty cool. That being said, WooCommerce in general, so how many payment gateways are available and compatible with the WooCommerce platform? There are about 100, a little bit over 100 payment gateways, and obviously the most popular payment gateways are compatible on the WooCommerce platforms. First and foremost, there's a couple different things that you have to understand when actually creating an account for a payment gateway. Is you have to, every payment gateway requires an account. So you can't just process payments without creating an account. Like you have to go through the setup process, some more rigorous than others. They vet you and some check your credit, do underwriting and stuff to make sure that you're good in the case of chargebacks and that sort of thing. We can talk about that, but that's another time and another place. A couple different things that payment gateways always require is, like I said, it requires you to create an account. Each payment provider is going to take a percentage of sales. So like, for instance, let's say I buy a hat for $20 from your website. Generally speaking, most of the payment gateways are going to, well, most popular payment gateways are going to take a 2.9% fee plus 30 cents per transaction. So if the hat is $20, the payment gateway is going to take a fee of 2.9% plus 30 cents for that transaction. And then you take the rest of the profit, obviously after what it costs you to make the hat. So cost is really important when it comes to choosing the best WooCommerce payment gateway. You have to actually ask yourself, like, is there any startup fees, right? Do you have to buy any actual equipment? So that's pretty important. Like, is there any actual physical hardware that you have to buy? But if you're going to be running WooCommerce through a website, then you're not going to be taking cards and you're not going to need card readers and stuff like that. So that's kind of not really something you're going to have to worry about. In my opinion, if you're going to be running online, WooCommerce, or honestly, any platform for that matter, trying to accept payments, then odds are you're going to just be using where they type in their credit card information and then they submit it. It's not going to be an actual swipe. And then you have to actually ask yourself, is there any sign-up fee, like when you actually get started? So some payment processors, some payment gateways, they require a 10% reserve. So like if you don't have any payment history, if you don't have any credit, like if your credit score is bad, they might not even approve you. But some actually require like a 10% reserve. Like there's been some that I've been on that require a 10% rolling reserve for 6 months. So that means 10% of your actual sales go into a reserve and you can't touch that. And every 6 months they'll deposit that into your account. Another thing that you have to also think about is the location. So one of the most important things that you need to remember when choosing a payment gateway for WooCommerce is the fact that not every payment processor can accept payments from every location, as well as not every payment processor can actually process payments from location. So let's just say that you are in Scandinavia and you want to use like PayPal to process payments. You have to make sure that PayPal is supported in Scandinavia, and then you might want to also make sure that PayPal can actually bill the people that you're trying to bill. So if you're trying to bill people in a specific country, you just want to make sure that they can pay with the payment processor from those countries. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to sign up for a payment processor and then you get everything situated for that specific payment processor, and then you come to find out that you can't even accept payments for them, or if you need a business account and you don't have a business, then it just makes things a lot, like you waste a lot of time, right? And then one of the other important things you need to ask yourself or ask the payment processors when doing your due diligence is the support for subscription payments. So if you're watching this and you're trying to do an online business with WooCommerce, you could very well potentially need subscription-based platform, right? So that might be recurring payments or something of that nature, like charging your customers once a month, once a week, once a year. It doesn't really matter. SaaS industries, so software service companies, they need the recurring payments. It's really important for their business model. Whereas some of you guys might be doing like an e-commerce store where it's just like a one-time payment and that's that. But if you do need support for subscription-based payments and you need to pick a payment provider for WooCommerce that actually supports their subscription-based extension, which is also going to be in the article, you can click the link. WooCommerce has a subscription platform because right out of the box, WooCommerce is free, but they have a range of different extensions and premium like plugins, but they're called extensions that go on top of WooCommerce to make it even better. One of which is the subscription-based plugin to where you could charge per month, per week, whatever, and then it automatically bills them whatever through whatever payment provider that you guys are using. Obviously, you might be thinking like, why do I even need more than one payment gateway? I thought that only one would be good, right? Because then I can accept payments from credit and debit cards. Well, the thing is, and the data has proven that if you want the absolute highest conversion, then offering two different types of payment gateways is definitely the way to go. Now, if you're just starting out and you really just want to get your store set up and everything, then by all means, choose one payment gateway and don't even worry about setting up multiple until you're actually off the ground and you're running, and it could be a tool that you use to scale your business even higher. But what we typically do is we use a payment gateway that can accept payments from credit and debit, and then we use PayPal on the as the alternative source of paying, because PayPal has a lot of different benefits to their purchasers, so like their customers. So when somebody purchases through PayPal, they have a lot of buyer protection, so it makes them feel a lot more secure. But just from having that credit card debit, like where you put your credit card number in and then underneath it says or pay with PayPal, it really does increase conversion. Another thing is Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. There's a lot of different digital wallets these days, and so having the ability to be able to take payments from all of those different platforms is a great way to boost your conversions, boost your sales, and make more revenue. Now we're actually going to go ahead and talk about the top 5 best platforms that you can use as your payment processor. So our number 1 is Stripe. So not only is it the hottest payment provider, you can accept credit and debit on your website. The cool part is that Stripe integrates directly with WooCommerce, which is an amazing function. Literally, it's pretty much plug and play. You create your Stripe account, you go through the initial setup, then you grab your API credentials, then you take those credentials and then put them right into WordPress. It's super awesome, super easy. But not only that, so Stripe offers can use it for personal, for business, for e-commerce. So the way PayPal works is that it's not an inline checkout process. So for instance, like if you were to go to my website and you were like to go and choose a product, then you go ahead and put your credit card information in, and then you purchase, right? But you never leave the website. You're always on the website. That's like an inline checkout flow. And so PayPal, it's actually a little different, which is kind of disappointing in my opinion, because you definitely do lose a percentage of conversion. So basically with PayPal, you would have them like go through your checkout and then click pay with PayPal, then it pops up a pop-up. I'm sure you've probably seen this. And then the pop-up, it's like takes them to the PayPal website and stuff. And while that's okay, it will definitely lose like your branding, as well as it's not as good as if it was just an inline checkout process. So just keep that in mind. So then up for number 3, we have PayPal Payments Pro. So PayPal Payments Pro, it's actually an exclusive extension for WooCommerce. So it costs $79, I believe, and it allows you to take credit card payments from PayPal, but directly on your website. So there is one thing to understand about PayPal Payments Pro is it's only available in the UK, the US, Canada, and Australia. In addition to that, they also require a PayPal Pro PayFlow account, and it's a little harder to get approved. It's not like you can just sign up like you can PayPal and you can start accepting payments. It's a little harder to get approved for that. And I know back in the day, like before I actually had any money and before I had any credit and stuff, I didn't even get approved for it. So I remember that it was a little bit more difficult. And the only downside too is that it's not compatible with WooCommerce subscriptions, and you can't accept recurring payments. So if you're in the game like to accept monthly recurring subscriptions, which is a great plan by the way, then that will not work for you. So number 4, we'll talk about Square. Square is a great company because the platform is easy to use. It's easy to get started. It's easy to put in your information and be able to integrate directly with WooCommerce and then start accepting payments. It's a popular choice for businesses that actually have a physical location, because like I said, it's an easy setup process. But the only disappointment part in Square is that it only offers payment processing services to the US, Canada, Japan, Australia, and the UK, kind of similar to PayPal Payments Pro. But the cool thing about Square is whether you're doing a physical location, they have a lot of hardware that you can actually do real in-person card swipes, or you're running a completely online store, you can easily integrate Square to your WooCommerce website. Same thing goes with Square. The standard fees are 2.9% and 30 cents per transaction. And last but not least, we have Authorize.net. So Authorize.net is kind of similar to PayPal Payments Pro, whereas they have quite a hefty underwriting process and they go through a quite a big vetting process. If you are approved for Authorize.net though, I really like the fact that you can pretty much run like any kind of business model, and they don't shut you down like on Stripe and stuff. You have a potential to be shut down. Unfortunately, we've been shut down with business models that shouldn't have even been shut down. It's crazy, but you don't really have that problem on Authorize.net. And just like PayPal Payments Pro, Authorize.net is a premium extension for WooCommerce, so that also is an extra charge as well. But unlike PayPal Payments Pro, Authorize.net allows you to take a subscription-based platform as well. So you can take subscription-based payments, which is good if you have a service-based business or a SaaS-based business. Whoa. So I know that was a lot of information, and hopefully you learned a little bit about like the 5 best WooCommerce payment gateways, which ones are good, which ones are not good, and hopefully you have a better understanding of which one you should use. There's a couple different options, obviously, when it comes to choosing the best, but what you're looking for really is the lowest transaction fees, the availability in your location, in your region, and a great user experience for not only you and the back end and your support team, but also your customers, right? Like keeping them in the actual website and that sort of thing. So with all those things factored in, I think that Stripe is the #1 choice for the best WooCommerce payment gateway, because it's easy to use. The dashboard is an amazing dashboard. I know we just went through this, so I'm not really gonna go in depth, any more than I already did. But I'm telling you, I've used Square, I've used Authorize.net. Actually, we have active accounts on Authorize, we have active accounts on PayPal, we have active accounts on Stripe. By far, I like Stripe the best. I've used Square. Don't have an active account on Square right now, but the dashboard on Stripe, the reporting on Stripe, the support with Stripe, and everything is just A1. Authorize.net is also good, and I think that will be the second choice personally, but the problem is that it's harder to get approved for Authorize.net, which is why I put it down at number 5. But nonetheless, I think any of these will work for you. If you have to look for a payment gateway for WooCommerce, then I highly recommend checking any of these out. You can actually click the links in the article and they'll take you directly to the actual pages for all the payment gateways. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always leave a comment down below and I will get to them. I will respond to them, and we're always happy to help. So thank you for helping me help you guys and becoming a part of our Project Cool mission. Have a great night, guys.